Hi.
Hey, Titus, how you doing? It's Mike
Hello.
Shue from The Pike here in Worcester, Massachusetts. Thanks for taking the time, man. I appreciate it.
How are things down in Worcester?
They are cold and rainy as they are every year at this time, of course.
Been there a million times. I know it well. I didn't realize you were in Worcester. Okay. Are you a native?
No, well, I've been here for 26 years, so I've been here a long time.
I see you haven't appropriated the accent, but I'm sure there's certain words that they just inadvertently come out of your mouth, and people can identify you as being a New Englander, right?
Well, I went to broadcast school when I was a teenager, and they hammered the accent out of me. But after a couple of cocktails, it usually does come out, and I end up standing on a stool or something and screaming about the friggin' Red Sox. So, it's still in there somewhere.
I get it. I know. I had to go through it with my New York accent, early on. I did a lot of elocution and work on that, and then ended up playing a bunch of New York characters, which was the irony of all things.
Oh, my God. What were you, if you don't mind me asking, what were you doing in Worcester a lot?
I was always passing through. My sons went to a junior boarding school in Southborough, Massachusetts, the Fay School, and also Boston. When I had my house in Connecticut, it's only 3 hours and change, and all my teams are Boston teams. I mean, I'm a Sox fan. Not very happy with them or the Bruins so far, but the Celts are killing it, and I would go to Sox games, and I'd have ties, a lot of friends, and of course I did 2 movies in Boston with Ben Affleck.
Oh yeah.
And my mother lived there for a while. She lived right on Mass and Commonwealth Ave, which was kind of great because I could walk to Fenway Park, in the summertime when I was a kid, over to the Fens. And I still have a lot of friends that live there. And it's funny, as soon as I never lived there, but I lived there enough to get the accent. And as soon as you get out of the airport and get in a cab, I took my daughter there to look at some colleges before she made her decision. And I was like, yeah, we're going downtown. Yeah, we're not, no. And he's like, where are you staying? I'm like, bro, I'm not staying over on Newberry Street. All right. So, we're over at the Quality Inn by Chinatown.
Right. Oh, must be nice, bro. Yeah,
must be nice. Yeah. That's a pretty nice car. What's that? A Lexus? Must be nice. Yeah, I know. Only people from New England know must be nice.
Yeah.
They always think it again, and it's always laid on with a little bit like you're supposed to apologize for having
success in your life,
earn the money to be able to afford a nice car, right?
Yeah.
I had to get rid of my Chevy Nova because it hit the bed.
Oh, you got to say it like this. You got to say Chevy Nova. You got to put an R on the end of
Nova.
things that end in an A, and vice versa.
Oh yeah. No, it's a great accent. And it's fun to do. I got to do Dorchester dialect in Gone Baby Gone, and then Charlestown in the town. Very different dialects. People don't understand it. They think everybody talks like they're like on the Pepperidge Farm commercial or one of the Kennedys, and I'm like, no, that's so far from what it is. Thank God Ben does the Dunkin' Donuts. He and Matt and Case do the Dunkin's commercials, because I scream when I watch those with laughter. I mean, it's hilarious.
Yeah. Well, there's truth.
Even the Teamsters in Boston, they would get irritated, and I would say, oh yeah, can we stop at the Starbucks? Are you serious? No, we're going over Dunkin's. And I go, I don't really like their coffee. I like it. Are you serious? But what are you going to do?
Starbucks must be nice. Yeah.
Yeah, it must be nice. What? Yeah, $4 for a cup of coffee? Yeah. No thanks.
Must be nice in your Lexus. All right. Listen, Titus, we got to talk about Bosch. I love talking about New England, but we got to talk about what may be the final season we get to see Harry Bosch. It's Bosch Legacy. third season, 10 seasons in now, playing Harry Bosch, and it's one of my favorite shows. You know, I love the character of Harry Bosch, and I wanted to ask, there's so many people are loyal to the point where they had petitions going to save Bosch, and now there's a petition to save Bosch Legacy signed by, allegedly at this point, 14,000 people. What is it about Harry Bosch that connects with so many people that they become that loyal, do you think?
I think he's just a very real character, and he's a true anti-hero. So he's flawed, right? And there's kind of a innate sort of sadness about the character, but because he's flawed, it makes him very, very human, which I think that's what makes him so accessible to readers and to viewers of the show. He makes mistakes. He's a very kind of a taciturn character. Certainly when I talk to cops, Harry's attitude towards authority always kind of puts a smile on their face, because they'll always joke with me, like, the stuff that you say to command, you know how many cops would love to be able to just speak that way and get away with it. But I just think he's a very real character, and the relationship that the show is really anchored in is his relationship with his daughter, Maddie. And I think that's where we see, if anything, a slightly softer side to Harry. If any, I mean, she's certainly the only person that he exposes himself to in any shape or form. Although that comes into question in the season, it's a big question mark for Maddie is, do I know my father as well as I thought I knew him? Which makes for some good drama.
Also, there's the whole part about getting older. Like, I think it was in season 1, maybe season 2, where someone referred to Harry as a dinosaur, and there's that whole thing. It's like, how long can Harry keep it going? I know that once he gets onto something, he doesn't stop, but there's that whole quality about him where, like, he'll never stop.
Right. Well, he's relentless, which is what makes him the good detective that he is, because, his credo is everybody counts or nobody counts. So whether you're, living in a multi-million-dollar home, or you're part of, a marginalized part of society, Harry treats every case the same way. He puts all of his energy into it. And, the whole thing of him being kind of old school and a dinosaur is also part of the charm of it. I mean, this is a guy who's completely, and I share this with him, he's a complete Luddite. He cannot navigate technology at all. So he does police work the old fashioned way, and also the way that the really good detectives still do it, right? They look and they relook, and they're relentless. Those are the guys that get the job done. And, that's Harry's thing. I mean, if a person was a victim of a crime, they would want a cop like Harry to be working the case. Right.
Yeah. Someone who won't give up. We only got like a minute left here, so I'm gonna really, my favorite part of the show, and with all due respect, it's Harry's house. Harry's house is so sweet. I mean, and he got that because he consulted on a movie as a police consultant on a movie. That was the money that got him that house. I'm going to miss that house.
Yeah. It was, he got the money, being a consultant on a book or on a movie that was based on a case that he had worked. And actually people go, oh, how could you afford that? But the truth of the matter is, in the canon and in the chronology, he would have been able to afford that house, because I can't remember what the guy said he paid for it when he bought it, I think in the 90s. But it wasn't a staggeringly expensive house. And it's a very small house, but the view from there, that house is basically, if Harry's an eagle, that's his bird's nest. And it's, the cinematographers and the writers and everyone really utilized that. The show utilized it extremely well. It became its own kind of character. And there was that one first season where, Harry had to move out of it because of the earthquake, and was bunking in his office. And I hated that. I was like, oh, come on, let's hurry up and get the house fixed. Right. It just wasn't the same when he was isolated in his office. You got to get him up there with the view of the city. Yeah. Got to have, even though he brought his stereo system down to the office, or he's got one there. It's not the same. So it was great to be able to bring him back, because that place is an amazing place to shoot.
Well, I'm playing Powerball every day, specifically just in case I win. I'm buying that house as soon as I win. Just a heads up to if you know the.
I don't blame you.
All right, Titus Welliver, thank you very much for your time, man. Appreciate it. Finally, though, one final thing. Can you say something for the 14,000 folks who have signed this petition to save Bosch legacy? Is there anything you want to say to them?
I want to say thank you for 10 years of being hardcore, dedicated fans, and for your tenacity. And I'm deeply, deeply touched by the effort to, in creating this petition. I believe it's, in the neighborhood of 30,000 people. And that speaks volumes about people's dedication and the goodwill towards the show. So I am eternally grateful for that. So thank you.
All right, Titus Welliver, thank you very much for your time. We appreciate it.
Thank you. It was great talking to you.